A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. On Saturday, a wave of protests swept across the United States as millions of citizens took to the streets for the No Kings rallies, expressing their discontent with what they perceive as the authoritarian tendencies and corruption of President Donald Trump. The demonstrations, organized in over 2,600 locations from bustling cities to quiet suburbs, showcased a diverse crowd that included families, children, and even pets. The organizers anticipated that by the end of the day, the turnout would reach upwards of 7 million participants, making it one of the largest coordinated protests in recent history. The atmosphere at these rallies was largely festive, with colorful signs and inflatable characters adding to the lively ambience. Participants donned red, white, and blue attire, emphasizing their patriotic message against what they view as a threat to democracy. The protests were not limited to major cities. Even small towns across the heartland of America joined in, highlighting a widespread sentiment against the current administration's policies. In Washington, D.C., the heart of the nation's political landscape, thousands gathered near the U.S. Capitol, chanting, "This is what democracy looks like." The backdrop of a government shutdown, now in its third week, added urgency to their calls for political reform and accountability. Many protesters carried signs demanding the abolition of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) agency, which has been at the forefront of Trump's controversial immigration policies. The rallies drew a mixed demographic, with attendees ranging from young parents with strollers to senior citizens, all united in their demand for a more democratic and transparent government. In Los Angeles, a particularly striking display featured a giant balloon depicting President Trump in a diaper, a satirical take that resonated with many in the crowd. The protests also saw creative expressions of dissent, with some participants referencing popular culture, such as flags depicting the skull logo from the anime One Piece, a symbol that has been adopted by various anti-government movements worldwide. In New York City, the turnout was especially significant, with authorities estimating that over 100,000 people participated in one of the largest gatherings of the day. Meanwhile, in Houston, Texas, signs read, "Fight ignorance, not migrants," reflecting the city's diverse immigrant population and their opposition to Trump's hardline immigration stance. As the protests unfolded, President Trump took to social media, posting a series of AI-generated videos portraying himself as a king, seemingly dismissing the gravity of the demonstrations. However, the message from the protesters was clear. They are alarmed by what they describe as Trump's increasing consolidation of power and his disregard for democratic norms. Progressive voices, such as Senator Bernie Sanders, joined the protests, warning of the dangers posed to democracy by Trump's administration. Addressing the crowd outside the Capitol, Sanders remarked, "We have a president who wants more and more power in his own hands and in the hands of his fellow oligarchs." His words resonated with the crowd, who were there to advocate for a government that represents the people rather than an elite few. The No Kings protests not only served as a platform for expressing discontent with the current administration, but also highlighted the importance of civic engagement and the need for reforms in the face of perceived authoritarianism. As demonstrators called for unity and action, the events of the day underscored a pivotal moment in American political discourse, where citizens from all walks of life are demanding accountability and a return to democratic principles. As the sun set on a day filled with passion and purpose, the echoes of No Kings resonated across the nation, signaling that the fight for democracy is far from over. The protests have sparked conversations about the future of governance in America and the role of citizens in shaping that future. With the upcoming elections on the horizon, the energy and determination displayed on Saturday may very well influence the political landscape in the months to come. The message is clear. The American public is watching, and they are ready to hold their leaders accountable for their actions. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.